Okay, so this is like the Swiss bankers. So Swiss bank accounts is being investigated. Hollywood and the CIA, but there's some kind of connection between them and this faction that may be preventing anything from really catching any steam. Because what I got was like slush fund or like a blank check, right? The CIA can, or whoever can go in and just take money from the Swiss banks or whatever based off of these premises, but it would still be like low key funding somebody else's project. You see what I mean? Wow. All right. Next card. There. Information is going to be about it going through a TV preacher. So some TV preacher was accepting Chinese campaign money, and they were actively working for a political side. The Federal Reserve and the government are looking into these TV preachers, these popular churches, and they're looking at them in a way because they're getting all this money and they are not paying taxes. But they are making political statements. So that's going to come up for debate pretty soon. Mr. Eric Adams, he's going to stand his ground. And he's already said that in public, but I'm telling you, he's going to stand his ground. But the craziest thing is I think he's going to pull a Trump card. Seriously, he's going to try to get his court situation moved out of the Southern District. And the way he may do that is by exposing a secret about a sitting judge on that circuit. It's back out. It came right back. Okay, so I've done several videos since this morning. And what has been coming up was the parent and teacher, the school, inside of the schools, right? Although this is like a conservative thing, this is like them trying to, I wonder if this is like them trying to protect their children. They always want to say that. The Republicans always want to say something about protecting kids from LGBTQ and influence and this and that and the other. Then you have this interference. Okay, so the story behind the survivalist, this is so crazy that this card would come back out. The survivalist situation was that the parents and teachers, okay, the children would go to, say, Boy Scouts, right? And there are people who were teaching them how to survive, but they're also throwing in what white supremacy, indoctrination type stuff that's going on. You see, this stuff ends up playing out at school. And the Republicans are really trying to interfere with students in such a way that is just unbelievable. And I mean unbelievable. They are constantly putting their stamp, if you can hear that, the stamp of themselves in schools, like adding forcing religious prayer, or stripping people of their religious rights, or making it where the FBI is investigating the survivalist Republicans, because they're Republicans. Most of them, I don't see that many Democrats out in the woods talking about apocalypse, but the Republicans in this interference in schools, and it's getting even stronger. I just saw the other day that they had banned 10,000 books out of censorship. The truth is this: when you look at our country as a whole, the only thing that holds these people accountable is literal history, is literal people who are alive, who know what they've done in the past, that holds them accountable even to this day for what they've done in the past. History is something that each and every person should be interested in learning and understanding, because when you die, if your children don't understand what history was, or it will be erased, it will be completely wiped out of all books and all documentation about what they did. You already see it now. Like, they're trying to keep the story of slavery out of the schools because they don't want white guilt. They don't want that. Okay, so this is not something that you're not hearing this from me for the first time. You probably already thought about this on your own. But what I am saying is, the FBI is investigating these survivalists and trying to figure out like how they're influencing students, children. It's about what they want you to be entertained by. You see, what entertains you, they know how to get to you. They know how to put information into each one of these situations. So when it comes to music, they go ahead and do a whole damn ritual for you, and you'll sit there and sing that Katy Perry song, Dark Horse, word for word, because you're entertained. Are you not entertained? That's what they're going to ask you at the end of the day. It's going to be, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Look, Hollywood, the CIA, you see the most talented people on the street playing horns, or doing things that are amazing. See, the elite, when it comes to talent, music, entertainment, look at Jennifer Lopez. She can't sing a lick, poor girl, but she has amassed her own personal empire. That is the end game. Is not so much about how talented a person, especially like creators or writers, and they make a movie and they go, well, that wasn't what I wanted it to look like. It doesn't matter what you want. It's what they want. It's what they want the people to see. It's not about what you wrote. That was great. Unless you reserve creative rights, you don't get to choose what we put on this big screen. We choose that. And don't let too much of what you put in this be in the movie or in that play or whatever. Don't let too much of this be too against the government. If you notice, we don't get that many movies about going against the government. You don't really see that. And why? You have to ask the question, like, why? You have people here who protest. You got people out here who have the nerve, the heart and the nerve to go against the government verbally, or utilizing Hollywood as a weapon to try to plant that seed in the mind of people. But they don't want that. You can't have that. Because it breeds another January 6th. But see, that's what's so interesting about this. The corruption that they have allowed to happen versus the corruption that they don't want to happen is two different things. It's not the same kind of corruption because it's not the same kind of skin. You see, black people getting away with doing dirt. The only black man I've ever seen get away with doing anything was Clarence Thomas. I ain't heard nothing. I ain't heard nothing about him getting tried or convicted or anything. That story came and it left. But every other black person, Kobe Bryant, his situation, you know, the money that is behind. That's interesting. That is so interesting. 1 second. Because now it's making me wonder. Hold on. Okay. Now it makes sense. I was trying to figure it out. This is for Swiss bankers. So that's something, an insult to Swiss bankers, used by those who think something done by Swiss bankers is harming other currencies or economies. Swiss bank accounts. Okay. Now, okay. I'm sorry, folks. I was really in the mood. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm tired of seeing this card, but what is it talking about? Bankers. Oh, yeah. That story. Okay. So there was something. I remember this. There was an incident that happened where the story came out about how the actors were not getting paid. It was some kind of disparity, so some kind of situation that erupted where the actors were not getting paid. But I remember someone telling me that in Hollywood, you have two corporations. This was told to me almost 2 decades ago when I was young. That you have two corporations. One is the front corporation and the other one is the secondary corporation. So it's almost like Corporation B pays Corporation A for whatever the cost of making the movie. But then Corporation A doesn't receive the money from the movie. Corporation B does, as payment for what it gave to Corporation A. But in the process, the actors that are signed up with Corporation A don't get anything because Corporation A never received the residuals from the movie, the profits from the movie. This was told to me years ago. So it finally came out. I remember seeing an article about it, about how this scheme was working out. So maybe the CIA is investigating it, but it's really only because of taxes. Like the fact that Corporation B could be out of the country somewhere else collecting the money from a movie that was released in the United States.